What's going on, folks? You know, some of you guys have the weekend off, and that's pretty good, because you worked all week and stuff. And this video is dedicated to the people who labor every day in the workspaces and have to deal and put up with all sorts of, foolishness. And that's the word I like to use to describe, this thing I'm talking about, right? It's one of the things that push me into this, this video thing, talking about all of this stuff that happens all the time. I went many years, folks, in my life working with people who had mental issues. And it's really important. I just want y'all to really just think about this for a minute. A lot of you folks are on your sound minds, and many of you have people in your families that you watch grow up, and they had some issues, and y'all had to, take them to counseling and do all types of stuff. And these people have a right to breathe air just like you do. But the problem comes where they have no control of themselves in such a way that you're always affected, right? Because even fools and assholes have to work somewhere, because this world is controlled by fools and assholes. Y'all get what I'm saying? So they're going to have to work. And so when they get in these workspaces, they do everything. And so we're going to devote this video today about just strictly about labor. People who actually do work. I don't care if you're working in an office. I don't care if you're working construction. I don't care what you're doing. But every day you find yourselves in situations, rather precarious situations that other people have orchestrated, that you have, many of you are clueless that they have done these things. Right? They're called master planners. Every single job has them, trust me. And these are the people, for whatever reason, maybe you have a medical condition. Maybe you had to go out for hip surgery or whatever, or you having some issues. And they'll monitor these things, because really when you start costing the company money, never mind how much they take from you or how much they steal or cheat you out of. But when you have a problem, that requires them to pay a little more than what they've been paying, then you become a liability. So they're going to try to do things to get rid of you and all types of foolishness. Question about the time that you have, because some of you guys have these benefits where, you can take off and, you'll have like your medical stuff will kick in and whatever. Just technical stuff. But in any event, they're willing to undo you on some level every single day. So when it comes down to the job, and let's talk about labor, let's start off talking about people who actually do physical work. Not if you're working in a restaurant, doesn't matter if you work in construction. I know a few people, I have people in my family, there were a few people that went to church a while back, and those people would talk to me about stuff because, they knew I do these videos and I talk about fools every day. And a lot of the people I discuss are people that they work with. Or very similar to these people. So, I'm that go-to guy, locally where I live at. Few people know me or something, and they want to talk about it. They just want to hear me talk about something, right? They want to hear me call people assholes and, whatever I'm saying that day. But it's really deeper than just me calling someone an asshole, even if they are, because an asshole is really that, just that, right? You're not an asshole, right? And what makes you not an asshole? Not being an asshole. Because you're not doing such things to be considered to be one. And so the people here have a problem with controlling themselves. And everything is a game. And that's the problem with narcissism. It's like a mental sickness where, for validation, they have to do everything in their lives. It's like when they were young and they were babies in the crib or something. Maybe they didn't get enough of that connection from the parents or something, in whatever way it mentally, defected them, right? So they seek out their own validation by doing certain things, by triggering you, pushing your buttons and stuff. And so on a day that you're off, because I've heard this story many times, on a day that you're off, and maybe you're coming in the next day, they'll do things. You'll have your coworkers, these flying monkey fools. FMFs. And what they'll do is, when you're not there, they will literally leave the workload for you in some kind of unfair way that makes no logical sense. You work every day, so you know what should be done on the job, and they won't do it. You're in construction, they may leave all the heavy equipment sitting in the field somewhere. They may do something ridiculous, because you got people out here doing construction. I'm just watching them, in this walk. But and I could just imagine what they would go through if someone left something in a place, or put a vehicle up against a wall, or did something foolish. I can remember years ago, and that, speaking of that, years ago, I used to work and do certain things, and we drove vehicles and stuff, and I would have my coworkers, who would drive, on days that I wasn't there. And what they would do is they would literally park the vehicle in such a way that it was like ridiculous how they parked. They would put the vehicle up against a brick wall, so tight and so close to that brick wall that you had to like do the Dukes of Hazzard to climb into the vehicle. You had to climb through a window to get in. And you would say to yourself, we're grown, right? At the time, I wasn't that old, but I still was a grown adult, and all of my coworkers were older than me at the time. So I would really sit there and try to figure out what would possess a 50-year-old person, or 45, or whatever age they were. What would possess them to park in such a way that they themselves have to climb out of the window like Bo and Luke Duke or something? Think about it. You put all of this effort to get out of the vehicle so someone else can't get in it. You see what I'm saying? So they have this thing in their heart where they can't stop playing games. It's like a child. It's like dealing with a child. I talked about this in other videos about these people you guys work with who take their lunch breaks. And if you guys work in a situation where someone comes off of a break, because we're talking about labor stuff here. Someone comes off of a break, and you're waiting to go be, you're relieving them while they're on their break. So you're waiting for them to come back so you can have your break. This is how it should work. It should be fair like that. But you'll have people who will not come back, and they know that you're hungry, or they know that you probably been on your feet all day or something, but they'll just to be assholes. That's their word again. Just to be nasty in their heart, their intentions. They just won't come back on time. But let it be a day where you don't do it. Oh, they'll be bloody foul. They'll cry bloody murder. Right? Everyone from your coworkers to the people in the office will know that you didn't come back from your break on a proper time. Right? And you'll get raked over the coals or some shit by your boss because you didn't do something. But they never say anything to you or ask you questions about what the other person did. This is why you know there's a game, right? And at these work environments, you have a lot of people with low self-esteem, bosses and, co-workers included. And they all play this game. Since the boss has a little bit more authority than the co-workers, the boss is in a little bit better place, but they still do everything they do for the purpose of their own enrichment, right? Because they have psychological problems. So the people who want to seek their acknowledgement will do all types of stuff, right, for the favor of this boss, for the boss to like them or something. If you have to live your lives worrying about how somebody else feels about you, then you're stupid. You literally have not developed or progressed past the 5th grade. And many of you, that's why I always use the 5th grade reference, because I see it so much every day. I just see it in so many ways, right? The people who are assholes. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago about that situation, where people in the store will ask you questions or make some comment about what you're buying. They see 1 million people a day, or whatever they see every day, of people coming in the store buying various things. Mr. Store Owner is selling bread and milk and everything in between. He doesn't care if you like him. He doesn't care if you like the people who work there. He just wants you to come and buy this stuff. The people who work there should be concerned about what you buy, because that's how they have a job. And it's really just intelligence. When you apply your intelligence to things, you get a better outcome. You understand things better, right? So you could protest this type of treatment in this store. And what do the other coworkers do? Instead of them respecting you as a human because you're uncomfortable, they increase this foolishness. So then you'll have another day you go in the store And you'll have some other coworker who works with that other fool asking you questions about, you know, oh, I don't see you in here much. You still buying these? Like, why are you asking me that? Do you ask every single person that comes in, who comes in your store, why they're buying stockings or why they're buying, you know, milk or whatever they're doing? It's foolishness. But the average person is on a certain IQ level that literally, because, you know, you're home taught before your school taught. The educational system is shit. But we're talking about your parents and stuff. If your parents, and I always say this because I've really studied this, if your parents are fucking fools, trust me, there's a really good chance, a 50% chance, but better than that probably, that you will be a fucking fool yourself because you didn't have any other way to learn. You learn from a fool. You see what I'm saying? So everything these people do at work to try to hurt you is really you watching, you're literally watching them have a psychological episode play out in front of your face. Like a child, right? They feel entitled, you know. They're very, what's that word I'm looking for? I mean, it's just a lot of things that you see that frustrates you every day. Some of you want to walk out the job and shit because you're like, why do I have to keep doing this every day? You're not bothering anybody. You're just trying to do your job and stuff. And then you got people who worry about everything you do. Some of you will get these assignments, you know, that you haven't done before because one of your coworkers feels you should do the assignment. Never mind if they got hired to do it. They're worrying about what you're doing. And your bosses are such assholes that they'll honor that shit. They'll say, yeah, well, he can do your job. No one ever asks them to do your job. You see what I'm saying, folks? It's like you're dealing with children. Just imagine working for someone. Imagine if, seriously, I want you guys to think, if you went to work and all of your bosses were 10 years old or 11 years old, you would have to literally pussyfoot around and worry about how they felt because they would have low emotional intelligence. They would have childlike emotions. So any little thing will hurt their feelings and they're very petty, so they'll play a game and affect the job. The job is not important. That's why I said they'll put you in a dangerous situation if you're working heavy equipment or something, construction, like these guys out here. They'll put you in a situation where you could literally almost lose your life or lose it, right? And they'll whistle and walk off like they didn't know what happened or something because they're crazy like that. You see what I'm saying? The problem you are having, the frustration in your mind, is centered on the fact that you're working with people who have a psychological problem. Everyone seems to have it. There is no cure-all. And so every day you go in these environments and you have to come up with your own ways to deal with this stuff. Either you stay by yourself and then you become a target for doing that. You try to talk to them. They play games and they do all types of stuff and they backstab and everything. So you're looking at examples of foolishness all over the world, of people who just low-grade people who are not worth anything. I hate to say that, but that's why the world is going to be destroyed, because the world, if we left it up to us, shit. You know, we'll be in a tank every day. I mean, like, this is what we're dealing with, folks. You know? So I want you guys to try to hold on. For those of you who are in these environments, if you can get out, try to get out. If you can't, okay, fair enough. You got to work a job and pay your bills and stuff in this hard world that these fools have created for us. I get it. So work your jobs, but try to realize that you're dealing with like, it's almost like dealing with a demonic child with low emotional intelligence. That's what you're dealing with, because they're evil in their heart with their intentions, but they're very petty and childlike at the same time with those intentions. It makes no sense. You'll play it back in your mind and you'll say, why would this person say this to me? Or why would they do that? Because they're stupid like that. Right? Nobody cares though. All right? So y'all hold on. Keep your heads up. Stop letting this stuff bother you. You know, seek higher ground and you'll be okay. Right? While you're at it, go over to my website, thinkbehavior.info. Pick up my book, I Love Bad Behavior. Pick it up on Amazon. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, right? And I appreciate all the people who check out the videos. I'm not really looking for, you know, I would love to have a lot of people look at the videos and stuff, but I get that this is a world where, you know, people want to exploit things, sensationalism, that rules the day. If you're talking about something worth something or knowledgeable or something, people, you know, unless it's something specific, they're not interested in hearing anything about consciousness, right? Because they have lack of it. You get it? Or focus of it on it. So you guys have a good day. I'm gonna go about my walk and everything. You know, I think they've cleared a path out here so I can get on by. But I really want y'all to, you know, just try to hold on, because you don't have to deal with this. And when you get to a place in your heart where you realize that this is the end and you're just done with it, you'll make the right moves, right? That's how life works. That's how it should work. Okay? Y'all take care.